Yankutuna nasio nyamenono. Yanana se wa maya tamfuate shoko. Hey, dear wine, dear no. Wayama na yamenwanwa. Hey, wayama na timwae. Atamfuate shoko. Ghana for me, the unbreakable joy is blessing. Oh, share HRETV. Kosuana she. Now be inshira unbreakable. Keep it locked.
Check the statistics. What from beaucoup d'État on my big six. We remove all the girls, logistics. You want here top speed, Olympics. Yo, what up, people? It's your boy Natalie, and I'm watching HRETV, man. Keep it locked. Badman operator.
Hello, guys. It's your girl Pamela Odame Watara, and I just want to recommend HRETV for you guys for all your latest interviews. Just stay tuned at HRETV. I love you guys.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching me live on HRETV. His Royal Majesty. Oh my goodness, I love the name of this TV. HRETV. Oh my goodness. Just catch us live on YouTube. Just go there, HRETV, and click subscribe, and then get update on everything that they put there, and then watch them also live on Facebook. When you hear the name HRTV, you are talking about television that comes from the heart. Oh, HRTV. Oh, makuma tomi yemwati. Me that one say. Good morning, children. A B C D E F G H R E HRETV. Go and watch HRETV. Bye bye.
How to sign up with biometric security on TapTapSend. Sign in with your Google or Apple account. Choose your preferred email account. Connect your email account to your TapTapSend account using your fingerprint. Thank you.
Hello! You're from a Calibos, the Willie boss. Oh, wait, what that's New York for more, America for more. Tap in tea, may cheer yourself and then in there. Never been through New York City, say, sometime. Someone will need here. Your most reliable, fast, secured money transfer app. Your TapTapSend about New York City. The son say ye near 3 years ye muntino. Ya pesi a boy customers phone now. They say wunti TapTapSend the new feature be a beka ho be boa na bon ho ban a protect so. Na so wo send ni sika ye hu nipa wo send nti ano no wo be ko app na so no upload o passport ana say o driver's license ana say o resident permit card. Who upload here? Yes, Ramo. No say twa selfie ka krebi aka ho. Na so twa wi a ebe boa ma TapTapSend be hu nipa ko a o send sika efri wo account ni mu e wo TapTapSend app no so. Boa yen ni emboa wo. TapTapSend, it's secure, it's fast, and it's convenient everywhere. Baby.
I was at war, your friend Calibos, the only boss with what is. Do you know about TapTapSend? Unima Metro. TapTapSend is one of the easiest, convenient, reliable money transfer app you can get. You can download TapTapSend on Google Play Store or App Store. We download it and then you register. Register and you are good to go to send money across every place, many countries in the world. TapTapSend. I wouldn't like that.
Alright, it was your for you. The moon say yes, I'll be share biome. In that anyway, thank you for such a wonderful opportunity to also be with you guys once again. Today's show will be strictly English because we have Dr. Nadani with us, and I'll make sure I don't butcher her last name today. Dr. Nadani Gukho Chandran. I hope I got it right. So we have it with us tonight, along with Ya, our sister Ya, who is also a beneficiary of her Dr. Nadani's treatment. And before we start, I'd like to, put out some few layouts, and also few thanks to our sponsors for making this event a possible one. And in due time, we will just give the right accolades to them. So big thanks to Feel Good Services for being a proud sponsor of this event when it comes to being a motivational speaker and also mental health education, and also Feel Good Homes in case you're looking for somewhere to rent, Airbnb back in Ghana. So whenever Dr. Nadani visits Ghana, that would be a very good place for her to secure her stay. We also want to say big thanks to Happy Glow GH for all your pedicure, manicure, and also your cosmetics and eyelash and eyebrow, threading, waxing, anything that you're looking for. Happy Glow GH will be at your service when it comes to beauty and cosmetics. Also, big thanks to Oswald Waters for sponsoring this event. And in case you're looking for IV hydration, primary care, or weight management, in case of you working on the weight loss, that'll be the best place to actually go and get that taken care of. Big thanks to Blondin Bespoke, where the best suits are made for both men and women. So kindly contact them for your suit in terms of any event that you have coming up. And last but not the least, big thank you to the most and the biggest sponsor for our event, for our show tonight, Time with Tatap Sen. So tonight's show is Time with Tatap Sen and is live on HRE TV. And big thanks to Tatap Sen, the fastest, the secure, and most reliable way to send money back home when it comes to the rates. It's very exciting. No fee attached, and also no issues, and it's very quick to send it back home. So please download the app from your App Store or your Google Play, and also make sure you put in the promo code HRE on your first transaction to get $15 bonus. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Also, big thank you to our viewers and our watchers for being with us today, as well as our listeners for being with us today. As usual, every Monday at 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we bring you nothing but the best of education, the best of highlights, and also the best of entertainment that you can ever think of when it comes to we getting to you and the society in terms of learning and educating ourselves. So this is how the layout is going to go. First, we're gonna have Director David come on board and just give us a little date of what is going on with Tatap Send and any breaking news, any exciting news. Then after that, we're going to welcome Dr. Nadani and whilst we get into the event. Then get into the show. I don't know. I keep saying event because I'm used to going to events. Once we get into the show, then right after that, she's gonna do a presentation for us. Okay, so after the presentation, I'm gonna ask a few questions. Then right after that, I'm gonna open the floor for those on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom to ask questions. So we're gonna open some windows for questions, and after she answers those questions, then we're gonna go into the Q&A session with Tatap Sen. Any questions or concerns with Tatap Sen. So this is how the layout is going to be for today. So please make sure you write down all your questions, and also if you have any contributions or any add-on you want to add to it, please make sure you write them down, because once we open the floor, you can go ahead and just ask all those questions. So first of all, I want to say big thanks to you guys again. Those of you listening, especially those of you at work and still listening, and those of you in Ghana, it's late. Those of you in the UK and Europe, it's late, but you guys are still listening to us. We have India in the building. She's with us all the way from India. So please, that's going to make this a possible one. All right, Dr. David, any updates for us, please?
Hi, BK. Good evening. Thank you so much for bringing Doctor on board. I see we have a few people still joining. Let's give it a few moments for everybody to hear. But updates on Tap Send. Not much since last week. As you do know, I said it on Thursday's show. What we did last Christmas was that we gave a promo from December 1st to December 31st. And a lot of people complained that they didn't get a chance to win. So this year we started our promo starting October 1st, which was yesterday. Effective yesterday up until December 28th, we're going to be giving out we're going to be giving out bonuses we're going to give out giveaways every single week. I'll share the details later, but it's going to be on Thursday's show. Every Thursday, there's going to be a grand draw for people to win $50 gift cards. $50 Amazon gift cards, and during Christmas, they're going to get a chance to win a TV, an air fryer, blenders, and obviously plane tickets to go back home.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on for the quarter because in the past, 30 days felt like it was too short. So we're doing it for 90 days moving forward. I think that's the most exciting thing that we have. One thing I also want to touch on is the rates. Rates have been a bit more favorable in the States, but across Europe, it hasn't been, which we're actively working on. It was a task that we've taken upon ourselves during the month of September, going into October. So we've heard you on the rate conversation. We're actively working on it. We're going to get you better rates. The U.S. has been good, but the rest of other markets hasn't been so great. So those are the only updates. Outside of that, I'm very happy to hear Dr. Nandini speak more about autism, which I think is a touchy subject for us, not just for us, just for society. So keen and excited to have you, Doctor, on board. So PK, right back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for such a great update going on today. Um, Dr. Nandini, how you doing?
Hi, um, good evening. Thank you so much for inviting me all the way from India. So good evening, but good morning from India. It's 3:30 a.m. here, and I'm here for all of you. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right.
Am I audible?
How do you say
Yeah.
good evening in India? Like your
Good
language?
evening. Good evening is good evening. So I
Okay.
think we'll use a lot of English, but a greeting is namaste. So namaste to all the Ghanaians from all the way from India, all the viewers in US as well as in Ghana, whoever is connected here online on Facebook, YouTube, and on the other medias to the HRETV. So
Thank you
namaste.
very much. Thank you very much. Um, and yes, you are right. We are live on HRTV. We are live on Tatap Ghana. We also live on PQ Ferguson, so as well as YouTube HRTV. So thank you very much for honoring our invitation. I know it was a short notice, but it was a high demand, so we wanted to have that education from you. So
I'm
I'm
honored.
I'm not sure if Ya is on at the moment, but once she gets on, I'm gonna introduce her as well. Ya, if you're on, can you please say hello so that we can introduce you? Because maybe she probably came with a different name, so I want to make sure we can introduce her before we proceed. If not, then we can go ahead and proceed. Okay, so yeah, oh, that's Joyce. So yeah, if you don't mind turning your camera on so that we can go ahead and introduce you. So yeah is also going to be speaking with us. She is actually one of the beneficiaries of Dr. Nandini's treatment, and yeah, will be talking to us. So yeah, a little bit, introduction about yourself. Can you tell us a little bit, introduce yourself a little bit before Dr. Nandini takes over? Okay, I saw her waving, but yeah, if you're speaking, you're on mute. All right. So whilst we're waiting for her to come back, maybe she try to situate her camera or whatever the situation is. So Dr. Nadine, if we talk about, are you okay if we proceed with Dr. Nadine, right? You okay with that?
Pardon me, please, please. Yeah, Dr. Nandini is fine because
Okay.
that works for everyone. My
Oh,
second name is very long. So, yes,
okay.
please do address me as Dr. Nandini. Yes.
Thank you. So when we talk about autism, can you please tell us a little bit about autism? For those of us who are laymen who just hear the word autistic child, autism, we may not even know the real details and definition of what autism is about. So can you please give us a detailed explanation of what autism is about, how it's brought about, and also after that, we can look into the prevention of autism. And if your PowerPoint is ready, you can go ahead and just go through it, and we'll be glad enough to just follow suit and see how best we can write down our questions and also ask you whenever the time is up for us to go through that.
Sure. So, my PowerPoint, let me see if I can share it. But in the meantime, autism, the name autism means self involvement, or means self, tism means body. So, children with autism tend to be in their own world. So, physically, they are absolutely fine. They are, in fact, gorgeous, good looking boys most of the time. However, they have a lack of ability to mix with us just the way I'm looking at you and speaking with you. That becomes, there's a limitation there. They are unable to communicate very well, and they tend to be in their own world. A big chunk of these children, in fact, are geniuses. They have an IQ above their peers. However, because of lack of social communication and ability to look to other people's eyes and inability to communicate, they are unable to mix in the society. Many of these children have certain behaviors, certain way they act, because of which they are not allowed into the school, because they are unable to sit in one place and learn. So this is in short. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder. What does that mean? It means that as the child's brain is developing, when in the mother's womb or when the child is coming out, some connections have not formed properly, some areas of the brain are not formed properly, whereby the child's cognition, understanding, development, and development of social awareness becomes limited. So, first of all, I would like to be very clear that this is not related to any curse, it is not a devilry, it is a medical condition where the brain development is different from neurotypical or us. We don't call ourselves normal, it's just we term it as neurotypical. These children are different, they are known as neurodiverse. So, autism is a neurodevelopmental condition. Brain
Okay.
development is affected.
I am glad that you did mention that. I'm glad you made that disclaimer that this is not a curse or anything of that sort, because the part of Africa that we're from, whenever a child is born with any disabilities or any abnormalities, automatic people want to tag the child as water babies and or river babies, right? So then it becomes like, oh, the gods has punished the family for having this kind of child, and the right attention is not being taken. And I understand that in the medical field, you guys believe in early detection. So with early detection can solve a lot of problems, if not fully halfway down the line. And I'm glad you did state that, because that is a huge disclaimer for us, especially the part of Africa that we are coming from. And it's something that we're really gonna use that as an adjustment to look into, to make sure that things get taken care of. So with that being said, how do we go ahead and proceed? How do we go ahead and proceed in understanding? Now we understand how it's brought about. So when you having a child that is autistic, what are some of the symptoms that you know when the child is autistic? What are the age differences? Can you also give us a gender differential? Because what might be the same for males, developmental stages may be different from female developmental stages. So what are we supposed to look for when it comes to males growing up, babies growing up, baby boys growing up and baby girls growing up, and some of the symptoms that needs to be catch as an early childhood detection?
Yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful question. So early detection, early intervention is the key to take care of children with autism. So when a child is born, you would see the other children looking at you, responding to you. Sometimes you see that children, even at as younger age as maybe 1 year or before that, when you call out, they may not respond, and you will think that the child is unable to hear. However, the child is physically fine, listens to music, listens to other sounds, but will not respond to you calling out, will not look at your face and smile. Maybe initially the child is able to babble or say a few words, but at certain point, maybe like a year and a half, child suddenly loses interest in everything around him or her and stops even the few words that he or she is babbling. Especially when you go for your first checkup at about 18 months is when you should be able to at least pick up that there is something different in your child from other of your children or other children. This child does not interact. The child either runs around when doesn't know who his mother is, who his father is unable to sit in one place, is unable to play with toys like other children do. But some typically these children cry a lot in the night. They are unable to sleep. they don't feed properly, they don't poop properly. So a few of these things, when they happen, it must sort of ring a alarm bell in your mind, and you must go and check with your pediatrician whether something is wrong with your child. Very important that many a times you are told by your elders that, oh, some children speak late, so don't worry, you also spoke late, your father also spoke late, so the child will speak at some point. But in autism, speech is not the only issue. It is also about ability to interact or to respond when you call, when you talk, ability to take information from surrounding. So when you see these things, do pick up, because you can correct this problem if you pick up early on. So that's very important. Do not neglect these signs. Number one, child crying and not sleeping properly, child not eating or feeding well. Number three, child unable to sit in one place, keeps running around, doesn't know how to play with toys, doesn't want to mix with other children, doesn't respond to you when you call out the name. These are a few signs which must ring alarm bells in your mind. Now, it is true that the number of children with autism being diagnosed is increasing exponentially. You are in the United States. The United States statistics is the strongest, and CDC Atlanta statistics tells us that now in the year 2023, number of individuals or children diagnosed with autism is now 1 in 36. What does that mean? That out of every 36 children born, one is diagnosed as autism, and that is a huge number. In 2004, it was 1 in 160. So you can imagine how fast the numbers are increasing, and it appears to occur more in males than in females. So the ratio is generally 4:1, 4 males and 1 female. The reason is not exactly known. It could be hormonal influence, or also the lack of oxygen when the child is in the womb, and it affects the boys more than the girls. So, early intervention, picking up or diagnosing early is the key. Do not, especially in this time, do not miss out. Do Another thing that you should do is avoid too much screen time. We have found when the brain is weak, if you add on to too much screen time, too much phone, too much television, that also leads to the delay in the child's development, because the child is unable to intake information from surrounding and is focused too much on the screen. So at least till the age of 5, avoid screen or minimize screen time to your children and have more social interaction. Does that make any sense?
Yes, ma'am. It makes a lot of sense. All right. So now that you've given us some of the symptoms that we need to know, I mean, many of the times we do hear that. So again, I'm going to use where I'm coming from. Again, I'm a layman. I have no medical background whatsoever. But you hear that, oh, men start talking at the age of 2. Okay, that is when the earliest men start talking at the age of 2, right? Then the females start talking at the age of 1. Some do even at the age of 8 months. And females walk faster than earlier than men. And it's like some men have different attributes, like some boys, let me use boys and girls because men gets it thrown off a little bit. So some boys have different attributes. They like to be by their own, they like to be by themselves, or they pick up one option. Now this is the case whereby maybe you have a child that may not have all these symptoms that you're talking about, but may have the part of, I just want to play by myself. Now they play with toys, but they want to play by themselves. They don't want to play with any other kids. When it comes to maybe the dad and the mom, they're most clinch to the mom than the dad, and it's like they will have respond more to the mom, but when the dad calls them, they don't respond to the dad because maybe It could be either the dad is always not around the child, or the dad is around the child, and whenever the dad calls the child doesn't pay attention to him. So it could have a different, impact on it. And you have all other kids that are doing different things. Now, on the other side of the town, right? Let's say Ghana to be specific. I know of a child that was a year old and was talking, and that was a baby boy who was a year old and was talking, and it's like having a very normal conversation, basically. So how do you I understand that everybody's different. Every child is different. A child may be possess symptoms of autism and may not even have autism at all. So how do we know that this is a flag, is a red flag, and that you need to address it? One and two. Once you're done with expatiating on that one, can you really look into the causes of autism? If you don't understand that it's a neuro disorder, what are some of the things that parents do that makes it high? Because if back in 2004 the ratio was 1 to 160, and now the ratio is 1 to 36, it's alarming. And as a prevention scientist, I look at it as there should be a prevalent issue that we can look at and stop it. So let's look into the difference of gender and difference of different babies, and see if what the red flag is, and after that we go into the causes.
Yeah. So the red flags, as I said, so it may not be just one thing. And even if there are one or two or three red flags, especially in this time and era, it is important that you at least bring it to the notice of your doctor. You don't need to make the diagnosis. And yes, you should not panic, but it's good to be aware and it's good to be alert. So, as I told you a few things, the one thing is when the child is born, and the first thing that the child must do usually is to feed. So, but if the child is unable to suckle properly, doesn't breastfeed, these are, you have to jump it together, put it together. Child doesn't sleep well in the night, rise incessantly, doesn't poop well, has a lot of constipation issue. When these three things combine, and then as the child is growing, is walking. However, the child is not responding not only to the father, but also doesn't respond to the mother, to the grandmother, to the aunt, people around him. He will not respond to. As I said, he likes to be aloof, and he likes to line objects, or he will look at things and be very excited and turn around, like looking at the fan and turning around all the time, running around, not looking, wanting to play with other children or sitting with other children. Yes, you may have one of these in each of other children, but when you put this together, then these becomes red flags. So if a few of these, and yes, of course, the speech gets delayed, or the speech may be there till 18 months, a few of the words, but they suddenly stop. So any sudden regression needs to be picked up fast. So some children do not develop certain of these different developmental milestones, and some may develop and regress. Regression is one of the main features that is seen in autism in about 90% of the children. So that is about the red flag. If you see these when you're going to a doctor for a regular checkup or vaccination, just ask the pediatrician to have a look at him and assess for themselves if there is something to worry about. But it is important to be alert, especially when you are a nuclear family, when you both the parents are going to work and the child is left with daycare, or child is left with some elderly person at home who gives, and it so happens that now we resort to a lot of screen time to engage the child. And again, if you see that the child is completely focused, too much screen time in a day, and then there is a lack of socialization, inability to respond. When you come back home, the child is not looking at you. When you come back home, when you call out, he doesn't want to come and greet you, he doesn't miss you. So all these must put you start ringing bells in your brain. Yes. So this is some of the red flags, and I think you wanted to know about the causes, right?
Yes,
Should I
ma'am.
go to the causes
Yes,
now? Yeah.
please.
So the causes, autism is a multifactorial condition. What does that mean? There is no one cause. For example, if you have malaria, you know it is the malarial the malarial parasite, which is just the cause, right? Or if you have tuberculosis, you know it is the TB bacteria. But here it is not so. This is a brain condition. This is not a disease. Now we will break this up into three parts. The first is before birth, that is in the prenatal condition when the child is in the mother's womb. Okay, if the mother has anemia, hemoglobin is low, iron is low, folic acid is low, vitamin D is low, B12 is low. So these are known as nutritional factors. If the mother is extremely stressed out during pregnancy, okay, if she has diabetes, if there is other hormonal influence, if she's on medications, or if there is a lot of pressure or stress at work and home, or there is an infection when the child is in the womb, these could contribute to the child's brain development getting affected. That is one part. When the child is being born, if the child is while being born, for it's a prolonged labor, or if there is a cord around the neck, or if the cord is not connected properly, mother had some complications, that could also lead to the child's brain development being affected. Brain is a very, very delicate organ, and any small abuse or any small injury may lead to a big event. When the child has come out, after that, if there is too much of lack of socialization, child is left alone at home for a long time, there is nobody to interact with him. During COVID there was a lot of screen time, and we are finding even in India that the number of children diagnosed with autism has
Doctor,
increased very fast.
doctor.
I think so. There is some
No, Dr. Dadene,
interruption.
keep talking.
Yeah. So the other part is when the child comes out, as I said, a lot of screen time and some external influence. Now, of course, there are some controversial reasons that people are
I have
talking
a
about.
question.
What they're talking about is, of course, vaccines, whether vaccines contribute to the to autism. There are different voices, different opinions. There was a lot of discussion way back in 1988 to 98. However, that particular reason has been refuted, and it has been shown it is not so. So as part of India and as part of Africa and even in US, we would recommend not to stop vaccines. It is important to continue vaccines for your child, but yes, you can space out the vaccines. That's important. And of course, reduce screen time, lot of socialization. The other important thing is age of the parents. If the father's age is too much or too little, so less than 20 or above 45 becomes one of the possible contribution to a child becoming autism. Mother's age, high age of the mother could also be one of the factors. These are environmental factors, and genetic factors may also contribute to 10% of the autism. So there could be some genetic mutations which could add on to the child developing autism. So to prevent it, prevention, the most important thing is the mother has to be healthy. Mother has to be physically, emotionally, as well as mentally very in good condition. Physically, very important that she takes care of her nutrition, her food, exercise, as well as ensure that all her health parameters are in good condition. Number two, she must engage in good reading habits and try avoid too much screen time. That even mother watching too much television or too much phone whilst the child is in the womb has also been found to be possibly one of the reasons that the child development is affected. So reduce your own screen time, engage in healthy habits, eat well, keep your nutrition good. Before you conceive, check your blood workup, ensure all your vitamins and iron are in good condition. So these are a few pointers that you can take care of to prevent or reduce the incidence of autism in your child.
All right, all right. That is so beautiful, and that is, I mean, well, put together. So, I don't know if you want us to open up the floor for some questions from our viewers before we go into the treatment, or you want us to finish the treatment before we go into the questions.
I think we can finish the whole discussion and then we can open the floor for questions, because I'm sure there would be question about treatment first before anything else.
Okay, so
So
let's go
let's
ahead.
finish.
Take us into treatment.
Yeah. So the treatment of autism is conventional treatment and newer treatments. Yeah. So the
Say that one more
conventional
time. You
treatment,
said it's convention and what?
yes, conventional treatment of autism is basically neurorehabilitation. What is neurorehabilitation? Neurorehabilitation means training the child, because the child is unable to learn by himself. Most children, if you see, learn things, even the language, from around them. They hear what people are saying and they develop. You don't have to really teach them about this is your mother, this is your father. They understand it. But children with autism have inherent, sometimes, lack of ability to process information from the surrounding. So the child has to be trained, and even to sit in a classroom or sit in one place and do activities, sit in one place and eat, these are things which may not come naturally to these children. So important thing is occupational therapy. This is occupational therapy. What does that mean? What is occupation? What is a child's occupation? A child's occupation is to eat, to be able to sleep, to be able to poop, to be able to play with other children, brush his teeth. So, occupational therapy will teach the children how to do all of these things. So, and integrate information from the surrounding to be able to respond appropriately. The second is behavioral therapy or cognitive rehabilitation. It means to teach the child how, what is A, what is B, what is C, 1 to 10, nursery rhymes, basically academic part, as well as teach the child how to not throw a tantrum. Many children, even regular neurotypical children, throw a lot of tantrums when they want something or they don't know how to express themselves. Children with autism have more of these tantrums or meltdowns. These are known as, they are unable to control their emotions. So behavioral therapy and cognitive therapy helps them to do that. The third is speech therapy. Since they are unable to, many children of autism are unable to chew initially, they are unable to swallow, they have lot of sensitivities. What does that mean? They may not eat crunchy food, or they may eat only crunchy food. They may not like to eat rice because it is too soft for them. Some children will only drink milk till they are 4 years or 5 years old. So these things need to be addressed both by the occupational therapist and speech therapist. And, it is also known as feeding therapy in the US. And speech also means communication, both non-verbal and verbal. So these are a few neurorehabilitation, training the child from outside. Newer neurorehabilitation are there, which is aquatic therapy. Exercise in water is, again, children love water, so they love to exercise and they can be taught a lot of things in the water as well. So that is known as aquatic therapy. Then there is music therapy, art-based therapy, animal therapy. So there are a lot of ways that you can train the child from outside. So this is known as conventional treatment for autism. Okay, so this is conventional. There are a lot of newer treatments as well. The newer treatments which Joyce or Yashika's son took from us
Okay,
works
Dr.
on
Nadani, Dr.
the.
Nadani, before you go into the new treatment from that you have, I want to take this opportunity, right, to take a quick break and have everybody invite their friends and family to join. This is about to get interested. And this is where, after you're done with the treatment talk, I'll let Joyce come on board and explain to us what she benefited from you as well. And that way we can also get that, feeling of it. But before we do that, we're going to go on a quick commercial break. And please urge each and everyone to invite the friends, whether on Facebook or YouTube, Tap Send Ghana, okay? Please, we are live, and I can see the comments going on over here on Facebook, Tap Send Ghana, and HRE TV as well, or YouTube. Please, Zoom. The Zoom link is out there. Please make sure you join us on Zoom. Invite your friends, send the Zoom link to them, and let them come on right now to hear the new treatment for autism. It may not be you that you need it. It could be your family members, or it could be your friends that may need it. But this is the time for you to actually invite everybody to come on board to actually be a part of this blessing. Please. So let's go on a quick commercial break, and after we get back, we will hear Dr. Dadini give us the new treatment for autism. Thank you.
I was at one, your friend Calibos, the only boss with what is. Do you know about Tap Send? Tap Send is one of the easiest, convenient, reliable money transfer app you can get. You can download Tap Send on Google Play Store or App Store. We download it and then you register. And you are good to go to send money across every place, many countries in the world. Tap Send. I wouldn't like that.
All right. Thank you for the quick commercial break. And also a big thanks to our producer, director, and the Lord for making this happen. Tap Send, the fastest, the secure, the most reliable way to send money back home. Please, I hope you did do us the honors by sending the links to your family members and your loved ones as well to be part of this process. Now we're going to hear Dr. Nadini give us the new treatment for autism. Again, like she said, back in 2004, autism, the ratio for autism was 1:160. And as of now, the ratio is 1:36. And with the gender differential, the ratio is one female to, out of every, one female is to four men. So if you have 5 kids, and 4 of them are males and 1 is a female, that is the ratio when it comes to the autism differential. If you have, like, let's say for instance 200 females and 200 males, right? Every 4 of those kids that you have around, or males that you have around, you can pick 1 female on the other side that will match the ratio of autism. So that means the escalating rate of autism in men are 4 times higher than that of the woman. So this should be alarming, and this should be something that we should all make sure that we are well educated and invested on. So please, Dr. Nadine, take over from here when it comes to the new treatment.
Yeah, thank you. So are you able to see my presentation? You wanted me to
yes,
quickly
we can
run
see
through
it.
it.
Yes, we can see it.
So when, as far as we are, as I told you, that the general approach for therapy or treatment for autism is special rehabilitation, conventional rehabilitation, and then there are special rehabilitation. But at what we have looked at and researched in India in Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute last 15 years is what is wrong in the brain of a child with autism, because the child looks absolutely fine from outside, right? As I said, they look very good looking, very handsome boys, and they're running around and everything seems to be fine. So parents wonder, what is wrong with my child? So we looked at what does the brain show us. So we looked at newer imaging of the brain, and this is the brain that you can see on the screen. Can you see
Yes.
green and
yes,
blue?
we can see.
Green
We can
and
see.
blue? Yeah. So green and blue. So the green part of the what you are seeing is a normal brain. But what is circled here in red?
Okay.
Can you see? Just
Okay.
blue?
We don't. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah,
Are you
I
talking
think it's
about?
not going ahead. Let me check. I think what I am
So the
seeing
page,
and what
the
you are
page that we
seeing is
see,
different.
the page that we see says all thinking. The central nervous system is incapable of regeneration.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So
Okay, we see
now
now.
I think it's moving now.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
think
we can
I've
see it
got it
now.
now. So now this brain, you can see the green part here is all good functioning brain. However, the light blue areas are functioning less. And this is what we have found when we have done a special scanning of the brain known as the PET-CT scan of the brain. This is a positron emission tomography, which is an advanced technique to look at functioning of the brain. So this is what we researched and we published. You can see this brain here. The green, yellow, red are normal functioning, normal metabolism, while the blue is functioning less. Now, these areas correspond to the child's abilities or inabilities. So, the central part and the lower part that is at the back of your brain, this part here, if you can see the cursor, this part is known as the cerebellum. Okay, this part is responsible, it's like a traffic police of your brain. Okay, now you imagine that you are on the crossroad and the traffic police or the traffic lights are not working. So what will happen? There is the road is there, the cars are there, but because the traffic light is not working, there is a jam, there is a chaos. And that's what is happening in the brain of your child. What is happening is that the child is unable to filter information. Whatever information is coming is not able to execute information out. The other thing the child here you can see is unable to do is understand, comprehend, learn, and respond. So this is what the problem is. This we do it in all children, and we are able to identify what is wrong. And once you have identified what is wrong, it is possible to correct it. So far, all that you are told is training from outside. You have to live with this diagnosis. Your child is going to live like this all your life. However, newer treatments like cellular therapy and oxygen based therapies are now here to help heal this brain. It is possible to repair what you are seeing right here. So, this is the PET scan. So, for example, when you have a fracture of the leg, what happens? Do you start walking immediately? No, right?
No.
You fix the fracture, you heal the fracture, you do a surgery, you put a cast, and then you do exercise to strengthen the muscle. But if you start walking with a fractured bone, what will happen? The fracture will increase. And that's what we are doing in a child with autism, that we are training the child with a damaged brain, and we need to be able to identify the damage that you are seeing here and repair the damage. You can see that the blue here is becoming green, and that is what the newer treatments are going to do. Okay, so conventional treatments, I told you, occupational therapy, behavioral therapy, these are conventional therapies. Speech therapy, okay, important. More physical therapy, these are conventional therapies. Special rehabilitation, as I said, sensory integration to help the child process information. Art based therapies, aquatic therapy, exercise in water. So these are newer rehabilitation techniques. The way to repair the brain is through cellular therapy, or commonly known as stem cell therapy. So should I go ahead with this?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So what is cellular therapy? Cellular therapy is basically use of special cells in our body to be able to repair different parts of our body. Here we are talking about the brain. Okay. So these are special cells. These are like stem of a tree. Just as you are seeing here, stem of a tree gives rise to branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. And when we put proper water, that is training, it will blossom. So we are using special cells to repair the brain. These cells, if you put in the liver, they can help repair the liver. If you put them in the bone, they can help heal the bone. And we are putting them in the brain to help repair the brain. Now, what do these cells do? They multiply. One cell will become many, many, many cells. So you get a bunch of cells from a small amount of cell that you use. They convert into different types of cells depending on where you put them, and they release growth factors to repair and regenerate, improve the blood supply. Okay, so where do we get this from? We can get this from different sources, but very simple source is the child's own bone marrow. What is a bone marrow? Bone marrow is a blood producing organ in our own body. In the bone, we know when you eat non-veg, right, you chew the chicken bone, you know it is hollow. So that's a hollow place where blood is formed every day, and it is a big source of stem cells without using anything from outside. So we use our own body's repair mechanism to improve brain functioning. Okay, so these cells, when we take from our own body, they are safe, they are simple, no tumor, no rejection, because we are not taking anything from outside, easily obtainable, and there are no ethical issues. We are not using embryos, we are not using cells from embryos. So what we are doing here, this is the brain, this is the blue area is the damaged part. These cells will go there and repair the damage and reduce the damage. So there is a lot of work that has happened on it, lot of scientific work. Nobel prizes have been awarded for this research and treatment. This treatment, it is done very, very simply. We take bone marrow from the child's own hip bone, separate the cells, inject in the lower back. These cells reach the brain and repair the damaged brain. And I will show you how it happens. So it is very simple procedure. One needle in the hip bone, one needle in the back. No operation, no surgery. These are the child's own cells. So this is how the treatment is done. Okay, bone marrow, these are the cells, and here we are injecting it back. Then of course lot of things, if you remember, I told you oxygen. Lack of oxygen is one of the reasons or causes which could affect the brain development. And in addition, with the cellular therapy, we would add on oxygen based therapies. One of them is the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. You must have heard scuba divers, when they go into the deep sea, and when they come out, they are put into an oxygen safe chamber so that they don't decompress very fast and lead to complications. So these are 100% oxygen based therapies, where increased oxygen will lead to more oxygen in the brain. So here you can see, in the normal situation, oxygen is carried by the red blood cells or the hemoglobin, okay, only the cells. But when you give it under pressurized chamber, you see the oxygen is going even into the bloodstream, and this increases oxygenation from the hair to the toes. The oxygen goes even where the cells will not reach, and that adds on to the healing capacity. So what we are doing is we are healing the brain from inside, healing the body. And ozone therapy, these are different ways. Ozone is O3. It is a very strong, active, super active oxygen molecule, which again, it kills the unwanted bacteria, viruses in our body, and stimulates repair of the brain. So these are a few additional newer treatments, and what happens in them is that these are a few scientific publications that has come from our institute way back in 2013, and later on other countries have also taken over in China and in the US. And what we do see, I want to show you the brain scan. You can see the brain scan here. The upper part you can see is the brain, which is before the treatment. The blue part here is the damaged brain, and after the treatment in 6 months, you can see that the damage is reduced. So the blue part has become green. More the green, the better the brain. Green, yellow, red here indicates good functioning brain. So you can see the damage here before, and you can see the damage is repaired. So once the brain is repaired from inside, you can help train the child from outside. So what happens after this is, when you do the training, the child's understanding, learning improves, hyperactivity reduces, eye contact improves, child is able to sit in one place, you are able to teach, the child is able to speak, read and write. We can integrate the children earlier in the school. So we see that when we start this early intervention before the age of 5, in 2 to 3 years, we are able to streamline and get the children into school. So children who are very, very severe, they reduce in their severity, become moderate. The moderate becomes mild, and this is how the brain functioning as it improves, the child progresses. So this is in very, very short that I thought I will tell, and then I will now, you can ask me further leading questions.
Okay, so well, that's beautiful. This so before I'll let Joyce come in and talk. So I'm looking at the presentation right here. I have 12 years, old, 12 years old boy from the USA, 9 years from the UK, a 5 year old boy, a boys triplets
Triplets
from Africa,
from Africa.
and 12 years old boy from Asia. So,
Yeah. These
in
are a few examples. These are a few examples
oh, so
which I
you've done more than that
usually give
treatment.
in my presentation. But we have treated over 4,000 patients of autism from all over the world. So, we do get a lot of patients from Ghana and from a big part of Africa as well. We get a lot of patients from the US, from all over the world. People come to India for this treatment because it's
So
very
the
simple,
treatment
it's
is
very safe.
only done in India, right?
At present, yes. At present, only in India. We are hoping to start set up in Bahamas. We have got permission by the Bahamian um, government. So maybe in the next 1 year, we should be there. But at present, only in India, yes.
Okay, because I was about to ask, is it medically approved in the States, the treatment?
So in the States, way back in 1998, the federal funding for embryonic stem cell research was stopped by the then president. In 2008, this ban was lifted. Okay. In the meantime, rest of the world started looking at more ethical ways of doing this treatment. Instead of using embryos, we started using bone marrow and cord blood. So states is about 10 years behind in a way. However, Duke University has been doing a clinical trial on cord blood derived stem cells given intravenously into the IV, into the blood. They have done certain safety studies. It shows that it is safe. In Mexico, Panama, it is being done regularly. There are some other states like Texas where it is approved to use your own cells for healing your own body. So Charlie's Law, it's called the Charlie's Law, which allows this in Texas for certain conditions, certain chronic conditions. Then there is a Right to Try Act in the US, which allows treatment for your own condition from your own body to be used. The FDA, in fact, there has been a federal court case which allows use of your own cells for your own body in various conditions. So these laws do exist. However, many people do not know about it. And unfortunately, know-how for treatment is still not there in the US. So because this has been practiced more in the East is more knowledgeable or expert in this particular technology. It is now coming up in the US.
Okay, thank you very much. So before I let everybody ask you their questions, I saw that our sister Abba had something to say, and also our brother Mahmoud had a question for you. But before we go into that, if you're done with the presentation, you can stop sharing the presentation. Then I would just have Joyce just come give us her testimony. So Joyce, if you can speak to us, please. She's
Can you
connected.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you perfectly.
Hi. Thank you for giving me your platform to share my experience as an autistic mom. And where do you want me to start from? Because if I have to tell everything today, like we are not gonna go today.
Just summarize it for us in 5 minutes. What how first of all how you met them, and secondly what was your condition before you met them, and also after you met them,
Okay.
what is the difference?
Okay, so all the signs and symptoms that she made mention, my son was not communicating. He used to flap his hands, and then he wasn't eating, talking, and then he wouldn't sleep at night too. It was a whole lot on the family. And as a parent, you want to see your child have a brighter and untroubled future. So the diagnosis seems to cast over all those shadows. So as a parent, I was into guilt because I kept on asking myself, what did I do? Did I do anything wrong that made my son go through that kind of situation? And then I was so sad. I became sad. I was frustrated because sometimes if you go into public, maybe if some of the behavior shows up, people will, you would think that people will be like, oh, you are not, you are having a bad parenting. That is why your son is behaving like that, because most people don't know much about this disorder, and then, yeah. So, when he was diagnosed of autism, I didn't settle there because to me, I was like, there is something out there that can, help my son to elevate his struggle. So I kept on pushing. I kept on searching because in United States, all that they could tell you is that the disease is manageable. There is no treatment for it. And I kept on praying to God, God, give me solution to help my kid, because as a parent, seeing your kid going through that, it's not easy. So one day when I go to bed, I don't sleep. In the middle of the night, I wake up, pray to God. God, show me the way to help my child, because this is not good. This is not a good feeling. I have 4 children and only him is struggling. So I kept on praying to God, and then I kept on searching for treatment on my phone, and then I came to meet stem cell. So I kept on searching about stem cell, more of it, reading more about it, reading more about the stem cell. And then something popped up about Duke University, that they did a research that was long ago, and somewhere, some of the children got a positive result. So I'm like, they used the umbilical cord. I didn't have it at that time, and I was done with, like, I wasn't going to give birth anymore. I was done with everything. So I'm like, how am I going to get this to, help my child? So I talked to my husband about it, and then I'm like, if I have to conceive again to help my child to be able to fulfill the life that he needs to be, then I'm gonna, conceive again. But God being so good, I went to YouTube, and then I typed in stem cell, and India came up. I saw their number, and then I called them, and then I followed the review. For me, nobody really told me about if it is gonna be good or it's gonna be bad. I just follow my gut, and then I prayed about it, and then I followed the reviews and whatever is going on, and I spoke to them, and they made me send a diagnosis of my child, and then, and what else? Yeah, the diagnosis of my child, and then we move from there.
So did you go to India to get that taken care of? It happened right here in the States.
We went to India.
Nice.
We
And
went to India.
ever since then, how is the response like?
It's been good. It's been great. It's been
Okay,
very, very great. My son,
go ahead.
I would say my son is about 90% normal now.
Okay,
Everything is going on good.
okay.
Why my thing's not working?
All
Yes.
right. Can we meet? Okay. So, and when you said 90, what percentage will you give it before the 90?
For him, he was when they did the MRI and everything, he was at moderate to severe, because before the stem cell, they will do test scan and MRI and all the tests that they could, to find where the brain is at, where the damage is, the percentages of the damage, you know.
Okay. So you probably say maybe it was like 40%, and now he's at 90 right now.
I would say it was like 10%.
Oh wow.
10%. He wasn't talking. He wasn't doing anything. Like he wasn't like if he see danger, he doesn't know what it was at that time with danger.
Okay.
He
And
wasn't eating.
and if you don't
He
mind me
wasn't
asking, how old is he right now?
He's 4.
He's 4.
We started the treatment very, very early when he was 3 years and 4 months.
Okay. All right. So now, but the good news is right now, there's, big improvement. I think from 10 to 90,
Very, very.
to me, that is A plus. And I can't wait for other people to have the same testimony that you have,
Yeah.
so that we can come back and share this over here. And again, I am glad that this show actually reached out so far and wide, because I've never met you before until
Right.
you contacted me that you wanted to come share your testimony, and you were able to lead us to Dr. Nandani. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the lady who actually helped us to get hold of Dr. Nandani, and we are here right now with Dr. Nandani giving us all these, historic and also origination of autism, and also the new convention, and also means and ways to get it treated. And also, I like the way she gave us the being proactive about it as mothers, things that you guys have to do well before you conceive and after during conceive, while during while you're being conceived, and also after birth. So I think the before, during, and after is something that mothers need to really take into consideration, and the fathers can also play their role by making this a possibility. So now we're gonna go to the Q&A. Do you have anything else you want to add before I read some questions,
Okay.
then ask people to speak?
Okay. PK. PK.
Yes, Joyce, I can hear you.
Yeah, I want to say one quick thing to my fellow Ghanaians that this is real. I'm not saying that you should go do it. When you research about it and then you feel comfortable about the procedure, then you go and do it. But this is real. You want to start the treatment as early as possible. Okay? So please, 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 if you have your child have this condition, don't wait. Even if you have to go to the bank and borrow money and then seek for treatment for your child, is very, very important, because this is something that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. Remember, in United States here, it's not gonna be like that. Just imagine your child being going to go to the group home to stay there. It's not a good feeling. So whatever you could do to help your child, please do it now. The information is out there. That is why when I didn't want to be selfish, I wanted to pass the information out there for people to know that indeed there is some help out there. When you reach out, you could get those help.
Okay, so
Okay.
I might add this to it, that again, I'm not here to either, and treat anybody to, back on it on that. But I always tell people, when
Right.
you see the light and you want to follow it, follow. If you don't want to, nobody gonna force you. But I did a little
Right.
background, check on you, and I realized that I know somebody who knows you and knows of your child, when he was younger and how he used to be, and also
Yeah.
right now, where your child is. So that really made me feel more comfortable for us to, go ahead and put the show up. And I'm glad within this short notice we're able to put something together, because it's been over a month and a half since you contacted me, and we are here today to make this happen. So that is good news. So I'm going to read some comments. Joyce, thank you very much for giving us your testimony, and I hope when other people get involved, and there is some testimony, they can also tell us. And if it's bad testimony, I want to know, because we want our viewers to know whether it's good or bad, because that is what the review is about. And I mean, like she said, follow your guide to do your research. Make sure, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and do it. And after I read the questions and she answers the questions for us, before she leave on the final sign out, we're gonna get her contact information. I know most of you want her number so bad. Most of you want the name of the hospital. Please stay tuned with us. We're gonna put those out there. And it may be for some reason you cannot stay tuned and get those information. All right. What we're gonna happen? You have to come back and watch it on Facebook and YouTube. HRTV, Top Tops in Ghana. on Facebook and YouTube, then you can get those contact information later. But also, we do have a WhatsApp platform. Okay, we do have a WhatsApp platform. His Royal Empire chat room. I'm gonna send a link on the Zoom link and all our Facebook and YouTube platforms. If you click on the link, I'm gonna also put the information over there as well. If Dr. Nodani wants us to contact them directly, she's gonna give us information. If they want us to go through Joyce for to get the arrangement done, we can also do that as well. And whatever information that they give us, I'm gonna make sure we put it out there, and we're gonna put the links out there for everybody to follow too. So please make sure you're watching the Facebook and the Zoom account and the chat room and the comment section to go ahead and join the WhatsApp platform, because that is where this conversation just came up as well. People contact me backdoor and just bring their concerns and contributions. So please join our platform so that we can be one family and just talk about what is needed daily. So let's start off from Facebook. So right now I'm on Facebook and I have some questions that I want us to go ahead and address. Let's go to the Tap Send Ghana Facebook page, okay, and see what we have going on over there with the questions, because I know some questions are flowing over there. So Revolt Media says, "Big ups, brother. Good show today." Amina Goban says, "I love the show," and Sandra Jakum says, "Good job." So that is what we have from Tap Send Ghana. And if we go to HRTV Facebook page, we have again, I'm struggling with that one. So let's go to our YouTube page as well. So with our YouTube page, we have some comments over there that we can also read as well. Why is my phone freezing on me? I'll come back to that. Let's go to our chat room on Zoom. So Zoom, I'm gonna read some comments on Zoom, and producer is gonna help me put those comments up on the screen so that so just a second. The comments keep coming, so it's like until I pull it up, it comes back down. Okay, so I see Victoria says that, can we have her number, please? And Danish Ado says, "Good evening. I would like to know if a scan during the latter part of pregnancy can detect such anomaly." And also, and my second question is the treatment expensive? So that is a question from Dennis. And the next question from Victoria says, "Please, can we have the number?" Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and put the number out there. So just give me some time. And Kwesi goes like, "To everyone on here, the truth is this is not witchcraft. It is a neurological condition that can be resolved medically." And actually, Dr. Nandini made that point that it's not witchcraft and it's not a curse. So let's not always look at it that way. And Odenehon said, "I have a testimony." That is good. And what is the cost of the treatment? So two questions for you, Dr. Nandini, right now. The questions are, how the price, what is the cost involved, maybe transportation, hotel, and the treatment, and if it's all inclusive, please let us know. And before you answer that, I want you to answer Danny's question, whether the scan before pregnancy can help for that.
Yeah, so during pregnancy, no scan can really pick up autism, because if you look at the brain structure, there is nothing wrong with the structure. Scans during pregnancy pick up anomalies at 20 to 23 weeks of gestation. That these are known as anomaly scans, where the brain structure, if the brain is not properly made, then that can be picked up. But autism is more of a response to external stimulation. So it develops or it manifests later. So you won't be able to pick up that on the scan. It is not so obvious, unfortunately. The other thing is about the cost. So we have two kind of programs. We believe in holistic treatment in India. So the center's name is Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute. So what we do is there's a 1 week treatment and there is a 2 week treatment. Okay, the 1 week treatment. So like you start on a Sunday. Sunday and Monday is all about assessment. You'll get whole lot of doctors talking to you, assessing your child, understand where the severity is. We do blood workup to ensure that the child is fit for the treatment. Monday is all the brain scans of the child. So all of this, the first 2 days is just preparation. The third day is the procedure, followed by rehabilitation training for the next 4 days, training the parents what they need to do at home, because there is still a limitation of what you can do with the therapist even in the US, because a lot of it is insurance based. So we train the parents to be able to do the therapy as much as possible and training at home. So that goes on up till Saturday. That's a 1 week treatment. The another is a 2 week treatment in which, along with the rehabilitation, we add oxygen based therapies which add on to the treatment program. So we've been doing this for 15 years and we have almost like 12 to 13,000 patients from all over the world that we have treated. Now, the treatment cost, it's a holistic cost for everything. As I said, from we take care of the patients like our own family. Like Joyce is now a family for us, Asad as a family. So it's we take care right from pickup to taking stay in the hospital, taking care of everything, the food and the treatment with the child and the family, and dropping them back and giving them advice for later as well. So the cost depends on the type of accommodation. Yes, it varies anywhere from maybe like a $9,000 to $12,000 for the 2 week treatment.
So the basic treatment, all inclusive, transportation, treatment, and also.
Transportation from the airports to the airport,
Oh,
Mumbai,
so
from
the
Bombay. Yeah,
plane
not
tickets
from the
from.
US.
Got you.
Not from the
Okay.
US. So the tickets, because sometimes there'll be one person, sometimes the whole family accompanies the ticket part they have to take care, but pick up from the Mumbai airport back to the airport, the whole thing.
Okay. Got you. Is about $9,000 to $10,000, right?
Yes.
All right. And also, I'm glad that you answered that. So at this point, I just want to remind everybody that I did put in the WhatsApp chat room link on Facebook and and Zoom as well. So please, if you click on it, you can be there to follow how we interact and also come up with what we want to hear next. Or usually, some people don't like to talk in group. They send me private messages, and I just go ahead and handle that from that angle. So at this point, please, if you want to unmute your mic and talk, go ahead and do that. We're gonna, Doc, if you don't mind, I know I said an hour show, but if you don't mind, give us another 10 minutes of your time. We're just gonna have some people unmute themselves on Zoom and just ask you some questions, okay? So please put up your reaction button, and like our sister Oba just did. Oba is gonna speak after that. I'll call Mahmoud because Mahmoud wanted to speak earlier on. Then whoever want to speak next, please go ahead and turn your reaction hands up so that we can call you. Oba, please go ahead and speak.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, doctor, for taking your time to join us this evening. And our dear sister, thank you so much for sharing your story as well. So I have several questions. One of them being your input regarding food. Food, a lot of people are saying the nutrition that we give to these, whether they're in the womb or after their birth, the food and nutrition has something to do with the developmental stages of our children, thus causing the autism. My second part is also vaccination. So there's a lot of hesitancy when it comes to vaccination. And right now, with the way everyone is trying to go green and be healthy and be health conscious, a lot of, especially with the recent, COVID situation, a lot of people have opted to not vaccinate at all. And many people have, testified that they don't need the vaccination. I know here in the US, they're very adamant about vaccination. However, a lot of people are starting now, is a new era where people are starting to say, you know what? I'm all set because there's not enough studies that's been done, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd love to get your input regarding vaccination associated with autism. Thirdly, is there a way? I know you just mentioned the price between 9K and 10K. Would it be possible, or does it look like as far as insurance becoming knowledgeable and accepting your treatment and allowing people to offer insurance costs to basically cover some of these treatment for those who really cannot come out of pocket? And are there any kind of aid that your organization may give to people who are in the third world country? So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry. My last very important thing is you said it's early detection is better, right? However, is there hope or are there hope for people who have lived their entire life with autism? Is there hope, and does the treatment become effective for these individuals who have gone beyond their adulthood? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Roba. I think these questions are something which everybody would want to know about. So yes, first of all, the food and the gut. We can actually do a complete show just on the gut-brain axis. So yes, what you eat matters. What you eat does contribute to your brain development, and the brain also controls the movement of your gut. So it's like a chicken and egg situation. So even before the child is born, what the mother eats also determines how the brain development of the child happens. So that's why good nutrition, food, good vitamins is very important. In a child, what has been observed is that you must cut on sugars. So as far as possible, junk food, lot of sugar-based drinks, a lot of aerated drinks should be avoided. Cut, if possible. Many children, in fact, now seem to be, even we are gluten and casein resistant, or we do have some allergies. So if you can cut on the milk products and as well as the gluten, the wheat or wheat-based flour, if it's possible, reduce it. That will help the child's gut to settle down. The gas and constipation will reduce, his digestion will improve, and so the nutrition which the child absorbs will be more and help the brain development as well. So the gluten-free, casein-free diet is routinely now recommended to most children with allergies as well as with autism. So yes, if you can do that, that does help. In gut issues or improper food adds on to the symptoms of the autism, primarily by increasing constipation and gas formation. The child's hyperactivity increase, the child is unable to settle down or concentrate. But if you work on the food, these things may reduce. Okay, that is one thing. Whether the food causes autism, again, as I said, the brain controls the gut controls the brain. Where does it actually start? We believe it starts from the brain, but eventually the gut contributes to it. So that's one part of the question. The other question was on vaccines. I did very briefly touch upon that. Again, it's a huge topic, and again, a lot of controversies. Way back in 88, there was a group, 1988, there was a group which did say that MMR was the cause of autism. And then the other vaccines started getting added, and there are anti-vaxxers who do strongly believe that vaccine should not be given. I believe that it is, one thing is never the complete truth. There are extremes of opinions. We need to come somewhere in middle. Now, why did vaccines start? The vaccine started, especially as you said, in the third world countries, including India, a lot of infectious diseases. Many lives are lost. So infectious disease prevention becomes very important. We will keep COVID aside, but childhood infectious diseases like even mumps and rubella and measles do lead to fatalities. Diphtheria, tetanus, yeah, and whooping cough. So these were very, very, worrisome disorders early on. Polio, how did we get rid of polio? It was through the polio vaccine. So vaccines are important. However, yes, I believe there are too many vaccines given together. So if we can, we should, I feel we should not completely shun the vaccines, because there has been incidences even in the US that there are certain communities who decided we don't want to give vaccines, and there was outbreak of measles and mumps in that community, leading to very severe affectations and deaths as well. So let's try moderation. We must give vaccine for certain conditions, but you can space it out. Instead of giving 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together, ask whether there are options where you can, give them at monthly intervals, so that's not to overwhelm our body's immune system as well as ourselves. So I would say, let's look at a moderation. Don't cut out vaccines completely. That is my personal opinion. Of course, opinions in the community, the medical community, again, differs, and the patient community differs. And number three, about the insurance for the treatment, I'm not sure in the US yet it is covered. In India, some corporate insurances are covering the treatment for autism as well as themselves. What we try to do for those who are unable to afford is we give them an option of a combined accommodation, which then helps to lower the cost without affecting the treatment. So we take that at individual level. Plus, we have a social work department who also talks to individual cases or individual patients to see how we can help them. So we can help them to a certain extent, the treatment not getting affected, but maybe the logistics or accommodation will change. Excuse me.
All right.
I think there was one more question. So in the meantime, if you want to.
No, go ahead and answer the last question.
Yeah. So about the age. Yes, early intervention is important. Our scientific results, which are published and available freely for everybody to read, shows that best results are before 5, the second best before 10 years of age, because hormonal influences will affect the brain's ability to respond to external treatments. But we have treated 20, 25, 30 years autism also. Results will come, but they will come slower and may not be as dramatic as a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old individual. So yes, we can treat older individuals as well. Also depends on the level of affectation. If the individual is very severe, then we have lost the window of opportunity, because very severe autism at 25 or 30 may not respond to the procedures, treatment. Whatever we do, training will not work. But if the individual is moderate affectation, to some extent is able to comprehend and respond, we can help improve their functioning to some extent even at a later age. So I think I have answered all the questions for Oba. Is that correct, Kay?
All right. Thank you very much. That was awesome. And I think Emmanuel, your question just got asked by our boss, so you kind of killed two birds with one stone. And iPhone, unmute yourself and ask your question. I think somebody else also had the hands up, but I see the hands down right now. But iPhone, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. My name is Francis. I have a question regarding the age. My son is 15 and definitely is on the spectrum. Would it be a good candidate? And can you actually do a pre-scan before we even get to India from the United States and see if he qualifies or not?
What is the age? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
15.
What is the age
He's
of
15
the
years old now. He's
10
15,
years?
15 years.
Yes, 10
15.
years. 10 years will qualify. And if he's being
No,
diagnosed,
Dr. Nandini, he's 15 years old.
15.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 5. Okay. 15 years old. Yes, 15 years will also qualify. So what we do generally is we do like a virtual consultation with individual patients. You can reach out to us. We'll first need to understand the child's profile, how severe he is. We will do some discussions with you, and then we can tell you whether we should be able to help him. In terms of the pre-scan, see, PET CT scan routinely, I don't think in the US for the brain it is done. You, unless your doctor prescribes, you will not get to do the PET scan in the US. So I'm not sure, and it's extremely expensive there, for at least 10 to 20 times more costlier than it is in India. So I'm not really sure. I think Joyce will be able to tell you more. She's a nurse, but I don't think in the US they will do it with our prescription. So the pre scan is not possible, but a pre assessment should be possible by your regular developmental pediatrician or by your therapist to do a basal understanding of what is the severity of your child's condition. But yes, we can treat a 15-year-old. As I told you, we have treated 25, 30-year-olds also. But 15-year also, it's possible. It's come somewhere in middle. So yes, it is possible.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Odenaho, we're gonna take Odenaho, and I think he's the last person. And after that, we will probably have Dr. Nadini sign out with his with her final message, and also her contact information, and also the clinic or the hospital where this get taken care of. So, Odeno, over to you.
Hey, PK, good evening.
Good evening,
Thank you very
boss.
much for this program. Doc, thank you very much for this insightful education. Mine isn't a question, but it's actually a testimony. And I think I'm one of those people who have benefited from Neurogen. Yeah, so I actually have three kids, but two of them were diagnosed of autism. And PK, you would agree with me that, I mean, as a parent and seeing your two kids who are not able to do nothing for themselves. I mean, you can't take them to programs. They are always at home. They are indoors. And you know where we come from. I mean, when your children has this kind of disability, if I may say, you can't even take them out because they think they are children from the river. So we call them Insoba, right?
Right.
So sometimes they have to send them back to the river. I mean, sending them back, you understand. So I mean, I mean, they were going to school. No, it wasn't a school. I take them to there's a special class that these kids were going, and then the teacher, who was also a Ghanaian, um, asked me, "Hey, are these kids being diagnosed of autism?" I said, "Yes," and she said, "Reach out to Joyce." And I said, "Really? I mean, we are in America, and they told us there's no cure for it. Reach out to Joyce for what?" And then as soon as I called her, she said, "Hey, yeah, I have that problem. Do you know this guy?" I mean, she asked me if I know her husband. And I said, "Yeah, I know your husband. He does a radio something something." He said, "Yeah, ask him if you know him. We had a child who has autism. I took him to Indian hospital, and he's doing well." And I said, "Really?" So I reached out to her husband. I asked him, I say, "Hey, you can come home, come and see." So what I'm saying is that there are two kids. I sent them to India. These kids were not able to eat. They weren't sleeping. If I have to give them food, you know how we do it in Ghana. I have to hold their nose and then open their mouth and put the food in. That is what we were going through as a family. So I took them there. When we came back, 1 week, these kids, they were eating all right. They were sleeping. So I called Joyce and I said, "Hey, it looks like the thing is working." And she said, you guys have to wait. That is how it started with me. So I would say for now, I mean, when the elderly one, he never said daddy, he never said mommy. That is when my wife started saying that there's something wrong with the kid. And I was like, no, I mean, it's probably a speech delay. Some of the children, you have to give them time and that kind of thing. But for now, the child will start, I mean, he knows all the siblings' name. He can mention them. He can say mommy and daddy. They eat. I mean, you know that there's an improvement. That's what I can say. There's a total improvement. So it's actually that's what I was trying to say. And as Joyce said, when I mean you hear of this, you want to do your own research. You want to pray as we always do in Ghana. You have to pray, yeah. And then hey, follow your instance and go for it. I mean, There is no cure in here. That's what they tell us. And you cannot, risk yourself living with this child like that for forever. I mean, it's serious. So when you hear of this, you have to make a move, and then that's what I can say. Thank you very much.
All right, Odeno, thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you very much for the contribution. I don't know who you are. I've never met you, but I'm glad that you really took upon yourself to come and just give a testimony. I mean, this is what I call the random ball. And sometimes when the random ball, is thrown at you, you might think it's kids from the other street playing, but it's actually a ball that you can actually keep in the house and use it for a good tool. So this is everything, man. You just solidified everything for me, and I'm glad that you actually came out with your testimony to give us the good news. So I know we've taken an hour and 30 minutes of Dr. Nadine's time. She actually was on the show before 6 o'clock, like around like 5:50 or 5:45. So I want to say first of all, thank you very much on behalf of HRTV and also the show Time with Tatap Sand. And I'm gonna have our director just come on board and just give his message to you. Then right after that, you can go ahead and give us your final words, which your name of the hospital and also how we can reach you. To if you want us to go through Joyce, let us know. If you want us to go through your hospital directly, give us those contact information, because trust me, after this show, a lot of people are gonna be watching it and they will be contacting me, and I do not want to answer all the questions. Usually when people contact me, I send them the link to the show and I'm like, this is the contact information. I've done my part. So please, thank you very much for coming, and please don't let this be the last time ever coming. When we need you and we go to Joyce, please open your doors for us so that we can always talk to you. So director, your final words to Dr. Nadeni while she give us a final sign out.
Dr. Nadine, thank you so much. Clearly, everybody on the show was super grateful for your contributions. Again, thanks for coming. As PK said, please don't be a stranger. There's an audience, a family here looking to speak to you whenever you're ready, and would like to pick your brain for future. I'm sure autism is not the only topic we'd like to discuss in the future. So yes, please let's stay in touch. Obviously with PK, and again, thanks for coming.
All right.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So please give us your final words and also how we can contact you and reach out.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Achari and Kate, David, and Joyce for this opportunity to talk to the Ghanaian community. So yes, most important is autism. First of all, autism. First and last, autism is not a witchery. It is not a curse. It is a neurodevelopmental condition, and if treated in the right time and with the right approach, we can get our children to become contributing members of the society. There are individuals in the world who have done exemplary. These children have amazing potential. There is geniosity in them. We just need to be able to nurture it. And that's what we are doing it in India. The approach is holistic. We improve the brain from inside and we help train the child from outside so that the speciality of the child comes out. Do you know that Elon Musk had autism? There are individuals. Albert Einstein was diagnosed to have autism. There are so many individuals who have done amazing work in the community, in the world, despite their autism. So let's look at our children in a good way. Don't look at them as disabled or handicapped. They are special children with special abilities. Let them come out. So you can reach me and us anytime at Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute. Joyce will also put her contact number for the US and Ghanaian. It is, I think, easier to reach Joyce, but I will put down, if it's permitted, on this chat here, our
Yes, please.
website as well as contact email and contact numbers. I will put my personal email as well. Please feel free to reach out. And yes, I would love to do more shows here on your platform. We can in fact do an autism series as well as series on other conditions. There is a whole lot of things to talk on autism, right from diagnosis to treatment to other things that parents have worry about. Food, we just just touch little on each because there is so much to talk on, but we can divide it up and do autism awareness series. We can do a cerebral palsy awareness series. So there is lots to talk about, and I would be happy to be, contributing and sharing knowledge. So thank you so much again, and please don't give up. At some way we will help each of the children who need help, and for us the commitment is for life. Our commitment is not only for the treatment. We treat all our children as family members. For me, this is a personal mission. Our whole team, our neurosurgeon, who's the director of our institute, Dr. Alok Sharma, you can look him up. He is the visionary behind the whole treatment. We have a group, we have a whole team which works together. And when you come, you will feel that like a second home. I promise you that.
All right, thank you very much. And whilst you put in the website and the contact information and everything on, I would like to say this real quick. So basically, what I want to go ahead and ask is, so in the case of the genuicity, right, of the child after the treatment, does it go away?
What goes away?
How genius the kid is after the treatment. You know how autistic kids are known to be very genius, right?
No, the geniusity becomes more. Seventh abilities come out, in fact.
Okay.
Children who are you are unable to see the speciality, they become bigger. In fact, Joyce will tell you her son is reading better than the neurotypical children that she has. There are sometimes they have these mathematical abilities which are enhanced. There are children who have shown amazing abilities, musical abilities which come out. So the seventh abilities and their geniosities come out more after the treatment that we do.
Okay, thank you very much. And we will be patiently waiting for the information. And again, once again, thank you so much for having you come and also to help us a lot. I'm not gonna end the Facebook and the YouTube. We're not gonna end the live right now because she's still putting the information in there. So I'll copy it and paste it on all the social media handles. You can still have this show to watch again on Facebook, Top Send Ghana, HRE TV on Facebook, and also HRE TV on YouTube. So the three-way means for you to get it done is Facebook HRE TV and Facebook Top Send Ghana. So the HRE TV is HRE space TV on Facebook and YouTube. And also on Facebook again is Top Send space Ghana. So please go ahead and just, in case you just missed it, you can go back and watch it all over again. Share the video. Let your family and friends get to know it. You have no idea how many people will benefit from it and how many people will thank you so much for making this a possibility when the treatment works. All right, so I have the name of the business and also I have the number and the email. I'm going to send it on Facebook and YouTube for everybody to have before we end our live chat. At this point, we are into the session of Q&A with Top Send. So whatever questions and concerns that you have with Top Send, I'm going to hand over to Dr. David and he is going to chair the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. So you are allowing me to leave the show, right?
Oh yes, you are welcome to leave, but if you want to stay, you're also welcome to stay.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's early. It's like 5:15 a.m. in the morning. Start the day. Thank you so much and have a great show. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dandini. PK, thanks so much. Around this time, if you have any questions regarding a Send account or as we look to close out the year, my light is bad, we'll be more than happy to take your questions now. Good. Looks like she left her number and her website in the chat. So please feel free to copy it and reach out if you have any questions. Around this time, we'll take any questions regarding a Send account and feedback from everybody on the call. Thank you so much. Around this time. Okay. We're going to give it a few minutes. If you have any questions, either please raise your hand and ask the question, or please put it in the chat and we'll pick it up and answer it. Okay, I understand we're bringing the show to an end. It looks like we don't have a lot of questions. So for myself, thanks for coming. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. So, A-Class, any closing remarks before we bring the show to an end?
Would like to say thank you very much to everyone who came. Also, inviting people to come for the show. Not always take the good ideas and what the guests that we normally bring on give us. For Sobra, I want to be to meet the good news that Tata always try to put together for our customers and those who come on the show. Then to Pomachopi, to remember to use Tata and spread the good news as well. Stay blessed. God bless you all for coming.
Thanks, PK. Daniel's on the call. Any few words? With Daniel's not on the call. In this case, again, thanks everybody. PK, if you could bring this show to an end, same time next week.
Well, thank you all for really, giving us your time. It's always a blessing just to have you guys come on board and just do this with us. I cannot thank you guys hard enough. And I want to say, next week. Oh, the topic for next week. So next week, just so you know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness, month. So next week we will be having Dr. Stephen Boateng again with us to talk about breast cancer. And I got a shock of my life when my brother actually told me that men also do get breast cancer. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Pardon my ignorance. I'm not the only one who didn't know that. I bet you didn't even know too. Dr. Stephen Boateng will be with us, and the resource personnel that will be on board with him will be only actor Majid Michelle's sister, Juliet Luchot Van der Poel. She's gonna be with us on the show next week. So next week is gonna be breast cancer awareness, and Majid's sister is somebody who is a breast cancer survivor, and she has a foundation as well. So she'll be here to share her story with us. So please, let's look out for an exciting and a very educating topic next week. Please let your friends and family know so that we can all be part of this. And this is going to be wonderful. So breast cancer awareness is a pink month. Real men wear pink. Thank you on behalf of my producer director Nana Lord, and also A-Class, Danny, all the way from Italy and also the UK. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, the viewers, those watching us, and also those listening to us as well. And thanks once again to Dr. Nandini and Joyce for making this happen. God bless us all.